This is the final sesh for paper 1, Edexcel. So tomorrow you need to know what to expect. So paper 1, 1 hour 45 minutes, that's new for 2023. 90 marks on offer, 3 sections, A, B and C. Be sure to check out the recap video to checklist everything. So in that Theme 1 recap video, thumbnails there, I've covered everything in Theme 1 very quickly. If there's something in that video that you're unaware of, perhaps you've never even heard of it, then that's your moment to think, I need to go ahead, check I know that concept, and therefore I'll be ready for tomorrow. Check that video out. 2023 changes. So the questions in section B and C will be based on a business context given in a source booklet. So there's no flicking backwards and forwards this year in the exam paper. This is a separate booklet, so it's encouraged that you make space for both of them, being your answer paper and the booklet, so you can effectively utilise the context. Know what to expect. Section A, 35 marks there, starting with multiple choice questions. Some will be tick 1, some will be tick 2. 3 markers, plural, there'll be lots of them. Get ready for your technique. Leading into that 6 marker discuss question. Section B is where the context start. There'll be 2 markers, a 6 marker analyse question, likely leading into a 9 marker. And then section C, probably for 25 marks. A context with small questions leading into a 9 marker and then the big 12 marker. Section A tips. So multiple choice questions, be neat and be tidy. It's marked by a computer. Correct method, as so. So just cross it. But if you change your mind, then you cross out that answer like so. Then you'll choose the other answer that you think it might be if you have to go this way. And then you just check it the same as before. Okay, it's good to know that up front, how to do that. Then moving into the 3 markers. 3 markers explain 1 risk, weigh, impact. It says explain 1, so only explain 1 thing and then develop upon that. So 1 method with 3 points, that's 2 development points. Key thing here, be swift but accurate in this section. Examiner's report mentioned last year, poor examination technique by over-answering 3-mark questions. Too many linked strands, 8 development points. There's no need for that for a 3-marker. I get you might be nervous in that moment, it's the start of the paper, but be disciplined, stay neutral. 2 development points is required based on your first initial point. Section A tips, 6-marker discuss question here at the end. You need 5 logically linked strands across either 1 or 2 points. 1 paragraph, make the point and then 5 development points. Or you might go the other way, perhaps the easier way. 2 paragraphs, point 1 with 3 development points, point 2 with 2 development points. 3 plus 2 is 5. That's the same as 1 paragraph. Section B and C tips for tomorrow. At this point you must be starting to think about the context, of course, that's where it's introduced in B. Classic issues, you have the knowledge, but you forget to apply to the context. Even on the 2 markers, and they are slippery, the outline questions, be sure to apply to the context. Technique as follows. 1, correct point or the correct factor. 2, develop it. 3, apply it to the context. Even though it's a 2 marker, those outline questions, they are slippery sausages. I'll say it again. 1, correct point or factor. 2, development. 3, apply to context. Remember, the business name is not enough. By simply dropping the business name in, that is not application. Remember here, for a 3rd time on these slippery sausages. 1, correct point or factor. 2, development. 3, apply to the context. Section B and C tips. The 9 marker, the key point to 9 markers is just your structure is critical. You're allowed to take 1 of the options, of the 2 options on offer, and then answer it as follows. This is one way you could do it. 3 paragraphs. Option 1 is good because, and then option 1 has issues, the drawbacks, the flaws of that. And then thirdly, a conclusion, and you should do option 1 if you've gone that way, you've decided to go with that bullet point, and then justify it. You could do the same with option 2, of course. Option 2 is good because, option 2 has issues because, and I think they should do option 2 because. But the key thing is, you are justifying it. Justifying that conclusion. Both phase 1, so that's the option 1 is good because, and phase 2, that's the option 1 has issues, you're aiming for the point and then 5 developments upon that. So it's juicy paragraph 1, juicy paragraph 2, and then paragraph 3, AJKO, answer the question, justify why, what's the key flaw, it depends on basically, and then come back over the top with an overall just stating your conclusion. So make a clear choice and say why. Section C tips. The 12 marker, again, structure is critical here. It's probably going to be something along the lines of evaluate whether something, that's whatever the question is a good idea. Technique, yes it is, with lots of developments of course. 2, no it's not, with lots of developments of course. And then 3, a justified conclusion. Justified, you show balance. Again, AJKO here could be used, answer the question, justify why, what's the key flaw, does it depend upon something, and then overall you could be thinking about the short term and the long term here, and what those impacts would be. It depends on, so important to remember that. Now, time issue perhaps. If you have a time issue towards the end of the paper, maybe you decide to do the paper in order, sequentially, then if you have that issue, you've only got 5 minutes left for that 12 marker, play the levels game. Go for a quick yes plus context, no plus context, justify conclusion. So albeit it might be a bit light in that yes plus context paragraph and that no plus context paragraph, that's you applying to the case study, it will score better going that way than if you just go for one side of the argument and you do it as just one chunk of analysis. Because the problem here is you've not shown any balance. So if you unfortunately have that situation in terms of timing, play the levels game. Make sure you've got something on the yes side, something on the no side, conclusion. That will score better in that moment if it unfortunately happens. But let's hope it doesn't. Make sure you know your strategy. Are you doing section A, then B, then C? Or are you doing it in another order? The extra 15 minutes this year, I think, will definitely help with doing it the correct way round. But that's your decision. But know your strategy before you